All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Ollie Ward. Welcome back to the Ollie Ward channel. My brutally honest opinion on Daniel Farke will be coming up in this video. So if you guys get your comments in, I want to know your thoughts on Daniel Farke. Be sure to smash that like button if you want to see more daily Leeds United videos. And also subscribe if you are new. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. So get down there right now if you haven't subscribed already. Without further ado, let's get into it. So this is my brutally honest opinion on Daniel Farke after this season as Leeds United boss. I've had my doubts with him. I've had my praise for Daniel Farke, but it has come out recently that Daniel Farke will be at the helm next season, which is kind of, I thought that was going to happen anyway. He signed a long contract. There was a 2-year plan if Leeds United didn't get up this season. And Parag has come out and said, yeah, this is the case. Can't wait to work with Daniel over the summer. And yeah, pretty much confirming that Daniel Farke will be staying for next season unless something goes horrifically wrong over the next sort of 2-3 months or whatever. But yeah, looks like Daniel Farke is going to be here for next season. Elephant in the room, of course, Leeds United didn't go up. We lost in the playoff final with the squad we had, with the budget we had. Should we have been making the top two? Yes. Any other season with 90 points, finishing third, you would probably finish first by a long shot. But credit to Leicester and Ipswich Town. And then the playoffs, famously, Leeds don't do it. But we are going to talk about Daniel Farke's cons as well. We're not just going to sit here and praise him for 90 minutes because, well, I'm not here for 90 minutes, not praising him for 90 minutes. God, that would be awful, wouldn't it? Hearing my voice for 90 minutes. But no, I'm going to talk about the pros first with Daniel Farke, and let's just talk about the league position we ended in. We ended in third. And I know a lot of people like to counter this point. And this isn't me, trying to say this is what you should not like or not like. If you're still Daniel Farke out, fair enough. We didn't go up with the team we had. You think there's problems in his tactics? I want to see your comments. I'm not against any comment that's in or out. I'm personally Daniel Farke in, and so are the club, and so are probably the majority of the fan base. But, if you have your opinions on Daniel Farke out, I want to hear them. I want to know why, because there is definitely faults in his game. But I always just come to think, if you want to replace a manager, you have to have a backup. You have to have someone else who can come in and do it. And some people, when they put in these comments, don't even have answers for it. But let's get into, like I said, the pros. We finished third. We found a bit of stability in this side. And that's a massive thing why I think Leeds United are going to keep hold of Daniel Farke, is building that stability. I think if we're under, previous owners, Farke would have been gone, failed promotion. I think we need a bit of stability as a club. We need a manager who knows the championship. And I know he didn't get us up this year, but I'm more than confident that we could do it next year with, I know we're going to have the likes of Summerville and Gnonto and maybe even like Archie Gray sold. But the thing is, I think if you do get rid of, like people try to say, individual players, we will have more of a squad next year. If we invest in more of a squad, players that, similar to that Bielsa side, similar to this year's Ipswich Town side, on paper, you think, okay, they're beatable, but they have this never say die attitude. And I think we're going to see more of that next year from this Leeds United side. I think we'll see a competitive squad instead of competitive individuals once individuals have been sold. And that's no disrespect to Summerville, because yes, he is an individual player. Sometimes we just pass to him and he does everything he wants, because if it was out without Summerville this year, we wouldn't have got the playoffs. And I stand firmly on that. But yeah, Daniel Farke's brought stability. We finished third, 90 points. We went something like 16, 17 games unbeaten in 2024. We conceded, I think it was top five, lowest in the league as well. Just brought a bit of stability back. And it's annoying that at the end, this has happened. We've messed it up and we haven't got to the Premier League. And that is down to the cons of Farke as well. If you want to talk about late substitutes, sometimes people say tactically inept, which the whole low block thing, I'm not fully for that, because in that 17 game period or whatever it was where we were unbeaten, we had to beat low blocks, and we did beat low blocks. Southampton, Russell Martin had his card. And I'm seeing people say recently about, Daniel Farke lost it because he didn't start Dan James. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Dan James come on and he was absolutely fantastic. And we all know Dan James is a decent player. But realistically, if you're sitting there thinking that we should have changed a winning side that just won 4-0 in a semi-final playoff leg, then I think you're being a bit silly, because I think we all thought Same side, same winning mentality. They've done it in Norwich. Let's do it again. I don't think anyone thought that Dan James should have started necessarily. If he did start, I wouldn't have been 100% against it. But I think hindsight's a beautiful thing because I'm seeing people saying he shouldn't have started with Firpo. He shouldn't have started with blah, 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 right back. He should have had Connor Robertson. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. We didn't know these players weren't going to turn up in the final, and we really didn't. I'm not too furious about it now. I'm starting to get over a bit. I'm looking forward to next season, especially as the 49ers have come out and said, we're going to be competing again. And he kind of said about the whole sort of money side of everything. He can't talk about that right now. Who's going to be sold? What happens to the financial fair play, FFP? But he says it's always going to be difficult because whatever division we're in, we're going to build a squad that is competitive enough to stay in the Premier League, to win the championship. So, of course, the money's going to be tight because we're going to be spending a lot of money because we want to get out of this league, because we want to stay in the Premier League. And I really respect that from the 49ers. That's a lovely message to see that, they're investing in your football club. And I think Daniel Farke is the right man, especially in the championship, to do it again. And he's brought a calmness, like the 49ers have said. He's brought some stability. Even the earlier falling outs with Gnonto and Cresswell seem to be resolved, sort of saying that, no big player, no player, is bigger than the club, side before self. I think Daniel Farke gets it. And I can understand why people were annoyed about Daniel Farke when we lost in the playoff finals, when we didn't get the top two, but you can't always blame it on him. I saw a comment the other day which hit it nail on the head. When these players do well and we win games, they're perfect players. When we lose games, it's the manager's fault. So you need to sometimes take into account these players haven't played well. I wouldn't even necessarily say maybe the substitutes were too late in the playoff final, but the players didn't turn up. Daniel Farke's right what he said in the press conference against Norwich. There's only so much I can do on the side because it's up to them players. So I think it's if you can hear that, there's a helicopter going over the house. I think that's the 49ers having a little chat with me there. But either way, I think Daniel Farke, of course, has his cons. Of course he does. He's human. He's a human being, but it looks like the 49ers do want to stick with him. And I, for one, back them. And I've had some stuff to say about Daniel Farke this season. Something he needs to learn on next season. Subs are too late. Subs are too late, is what I was trying to say. Subs are too late. Joseph came on too late. I'm not a massive fan of the whole just chuck strikers on there. I think we need different system. If we do want to go a bit more attacking, let's change a bit up the formation, not just chuck Pirot, Joseph, Gelhart, and try and think, chuck enough shit at the wall, some's going to stick. I sometimes thought that's kind of our tactic. It worked once against Norwich at Carrow Road and didn't really work again, so he needs to change that. And I think another season under him, listen, it looks like the same sort of thing that happened under Marcelo Bielsa. Marcelo Bielsa's first season, we finished in the playoffs and then we got knocked out by Derby. No one was calling for Marcelo Bielsa's head. But I think sometimes fans, including myself, are a bit, I don't know, want too much. I don't know if that's a thing because no one was calling for Bielsa's head when we got playoffs. And then similarly, no one should be, I don't think personally, be calling for his head because we lost in a playoff final. But then you could argue about the squad that we had and things like that. But I just think if you're gonna, chuck away, get rid of the manager, then you've got to get rid of players. You've got to know a manager's got to bring in. These new players have then got to learn new tactics. I think if you go again with Farke, you see what happened under Bielsa, we storm the league next season. And I think we'll see similar sort of thing. Because I think the competition this year, like as in Burnley coming down, Luton coming down, Sheffield United coming down, I personally, I don't want to talk too soon, would think that would be easier than what we had last year, but you never know. You really do never know, especially in the championship. That's why it's the best league in the world. But I think, we've got to be grateful that we've got some stability. We've had a horrible few years under Jesse Marsh, Javier Gracia, Big Sam. Daniel Farke's winning games for us in the championship. We look like we had a good squad up until the end. Yes, there's going to be departures, but I promise you, things will be okay. My brutally honest opinion on Daniel Farke is he needs to do some changes. He's not perfect, but he is the man that's going to get us back to the Premier League. Guys, I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Smash that like button, subscribe if you are new. And I look forward to seeing all these comments. I'm sure they're going to be divided. But yeah, let's keep it civil. Let's write everything in the comments nicely. And let's try not to argue. If we're going to argue, make it constructive, okay? Don't just call me a fat tosser. Without further ado, I've been Ollie Ward. You guys have been excellent, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheery. Oh.